Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Discard Dead, where we like to open boosters, boxes and decks of out-of-print trading card games. Today we are going to learn how to play Metazoo, but before we do, there are some very specific words to learn. This is considered common Metazoo terminology and replaces the general standard terms you find in almost every other card game. Caster, this is you, the player. Page, this is a card, and they all go together to form your spellbook, which is your collection of pages normally referred to as a deck. Chapter, the pages you hold in your hand. Bookmark, drawing a page from the top of your spellbook. Battleground, the entirety of the playing area. Arena, this is the area into which pages are played and used. Contract, playing a page into the arena. Aura, the resource used to pay the cost of pages. Fatigue, turning a page sideways 90 degrees to the left or right. Now that we've learnt these, let's look at the pages that you can play. Contract. I will attempt to adhere to this language, but forgive me if I slip up here and there. Let's start by going over the layout of a page, as well as the types you'll come across. From the top is the expansion symbol showing the set the page comes from, along with the rarity. Next is the page type and tribe, followed by the name and the spellbook limit. The other corner here shows the contract cost, its aura type, and the page's life points. The top of the banner shows any traits the page may have, with fourth wall bonuses noted on the bottom. If the page is a beastie, their metadata is here, showing height, weight, and where it originates from. The box here shows the page's effects. If it's a beastie, it details any fourth wall effects, powers, or special abilities, and the beastie's attack. The attack details the name, base damage, and effects, as well as any status effects or aura attack advantages. Finally, at the bottom, we have the beastie's type advantage, the page's flavor text, and the collector's information. Now let's go over some page types. Auras provide you with specific energy that is used to contract pages into the arena. Some special auras also have special effects. Auras that are destroyed are sent to the afterlife. Terra pages allow you to define certain fourth wall features or replicate Terra bonus effects, and like auras, are sent to the afterlife when they are destroyed or cycled out. Some special Terra pages also have special effects. Beasties are the creatures that you will use to fight with in order to inflict damage to your opponent and their own pages. Destroyed beasties are sent to limbo. Artifacts provide powerful effects as long as they are in play, and are also sent to limbo when destroyed. Spells are one-time effects that are contracted and then discarded to the cemetery. Potions, like spells, have one-time effects that are resolved after being contracted, and then are also sent to the cemetery. Tokens are special items that represent a page in the arena, and they're generally created due to a page effect. When they are destroyed, they're not placed in any particular discard pile, but are removed from the game. Each page belongs to an aura type, and the attacks of your beasties may deal more damage depending on their type and their opponents. They're described here as well as their strengths. Water. Fluid beasties who are masters of bookmarking pages. They're strong against flame and earth. Flame, a high-risk, high-reward aura type known for burning casters. They're strong against forest and frost types. Forest, wild beasties who grow stronger when swarming the arena. They're strong against water types. Frost, a controlling aura type that freezes all enemies in its path. They're strong against water. Lightning, quick beasties that emphasize speed and paralysis effects. They have strengths against water beasties. Earth, rock-solid beasties that win with tenacity and earth-shaking spells. They're strong against lightning. Cosmic, alien beasties that focus on combos and creative interactions and are strong against spirits. Dark, bloodthirsty and demonic beasties who grow stronger in the night. They're strong against spirit and light types. Light, the purest aura type that specializes in countering the darkness. Typically, they're strong against dark types. Spirit, forsaken spirits who exploit their enemies with disruptive spells. They're strong against dark types. Neutral, a mixed aura type that infuses elements from all other auras. Any aura can be used to pay a neutral aura's cost, making neutral the most versatile aura type. Special, sometimes some aura pages take on the characteristics of multiple auras determined by certain conditions. These pages belong to no other aura type and have no strengths against others. It's important to understand what a page's aura type is based on its cost. Take a look at this. A page's base aura type is determined by the symbols in its cost. In this instance, since only a neutral aura marker is used in its cost, it is a neutral page. These two bear only the flame aura icon, and so are flame aura pages, despite this page particular not requiring any actual aura to contract. These next two bear both neutral and flame aura icons. Non-neutral aura takes precedent over the neutral, so these two are both flame aura types. Finally, this page bears multiple aura icons, so it is considered both of those types, flame and forest. Some beasties have a tribal boost ability, which means that the beastie gains an additional plus 10 to damage and plus 10 to their life points for each other beastie that shares the same type. For example, the Ohio Grassman is a forest aura Sasquatch beastie. It gains an additional 10 life points, and its 20 damage attack Grass Snap will also inflict an additional 10 damage for each other Sasquatch in the arena, among both players. Terra Bonuses boost attacks when you are near a certain place or object in real life. They provide a damage bonus as shown in the Terra Bonus portion of the page, and may also activate some other effects. Unless otherwise specified, nearby generally means within 5 miles or within eyesight. They're divided loosely into two different categories. First are environmental, include things like the weather, season, or time of day, such as daytime, dawn, dusk, fog, full moon, lightning storm, meteor shower, nighttime, raining, snowing, stars, and winter. The others are locations and are dependent on the actual terrain or location you play on or near, such as city, desert, farm, forests, grounds, islands, lake, mountains, ocean, river, suburban, and swamps. Looking at Ohio Grassman again, he has the Forest Terra bonus, which means that he gets plus 20 damage bonus to his Grass Snap attack. When forming a spellbook, you need at least 40 pages, each one showing how many of each you can keep in your spellbook. You can have up to 5 copies of Chupacabra in your spellbook, for example, but only 1 Mothman. A spellbook might include 15 beasties, 10 spells, 3 artifacts, 10 auras, and 2 terror pages. You may also take an archive of 15 pages. These can be swapped out between rounds when playing best of 3. If a page appears in your spellbook, the pages limit counts across your spellbook and archive. For example, since Chupacabra's page limit is 5, if you have 3 in your spellbook, you can only have up to 2 in your archive. So how do we win a game of Metazoo? By reducing our opponent's life points to 0 by way of combat or other spell effects. But first, let's learn how to actually play. We begin by learning about the layout of the game. The whole area of play, including all other zones, is called the battleground, and is the space casters and their contracted pages occupy. The arena is this space where beasties go to fight. This is where you place your spellbook to bookmark pages from. The terror slots here are where terror pages can be placed to alter the battlefield and activate fourth wall abilities. There are 6 spaces, and should a 7th be attempted, the firstmost terror page is sent to its owner's afterlife space. The afterlife zone is the discard pile for aura and terror pages. The cemetery is the discard pile for spell and potions, and limbo is the pile for beasties and artifacts. And finally, the chapter, which is your hand, where pages wait to be contracted from. All casters set their life points to 1000. Then the starting caster is determined by a coin flip, die roll, or what have you. Casters then shuffle their spellbooks and bookmark the top 7 pages. Each caster may mulligan any number of times by shuffling their chapter back into their spellbook, then bookmarking one less page than previously. If you mulligan 3 times, you will only bookmark 4 pages, for example. There are 2 phases of a turn in Metazoo, the starting phase and the action phase. Before you do anything, any start of turn effects happen now. Then, in any order, you can awaken your fatigue pages and bookmark the top page of your spellbook. Any aura not generated from start of turn effects now dissolves. In your action phase, in any order, you may do the following. Once per turn, you may contract an aura page from your chapter awakened. Most aura pages have no cost. As many times as you like, you may contract a Terra page from your chapter into an available Terra slot in the arena. You may contract any page from your chapter by generating an amount of aura necessary and revealing the page. If it is an artifact or beastie, it is contracted into the arena. If it is a potion or spell, its effect is resolved and then is placed into the cemetery. As many times as you like, you may place a page with the trap trait face down into the arena. We'll cover traps a bit later. As many times as you like, you may also move any face-down trap pages to underneath a beastie or artifact you control in the arena that does not already have a trap card beneath it, but only once per face-down trap card. You may fatigue an artifact or beastie to use a power on that page. A beastie must be awakened to use a power, even if the power doesn't fatigue the beastie after being activated. As many times as you'd like, you may fatigue a beastie to declare it as an attacker. But again, we'll cover combat later. Finally, you may end your turn. Any end of turn effects resolve now, any unspent aura dissipates, and play now passes to the opposing caster. Auras are the most important pages in Metazoo. Aura is generated anytime simply by fatiguing an awakened aura page by rotating it horizontally 90 degrees, and is not considered an action. For example, a single flame aura page would generate 1 flame aura. Aura is the resource used to contract pages, but it dissolves at the end of each turn. Aura pages remain in the arena unless removed by another page or effect. They generate aura and are controlled by casters. When a page is contracted, from their chapter, a caster chooses a page to contract and reveals it to the opposing casters. If the page is a spell or potion that targets another page, the caster must select its target and the target must be present. Pay the page's cost by fatiguing aura pages, artifacts, etc. The contracted page resolves. If it's a beastie or artifact, it resolves any contract effects. Then it enters the arena fatigued. Any contract effects that happen simultaneously have their resolution order chosen by the active caster. Before moving on, let's briefly talk about the priority chain. When casters perform an action, be it contracting a page, declaring an attack, or what have you, after contracting and before resolving the page, your opponent gets a chance to respond with an action of their own until no other actions are played, and then resolve from last to first. For example, you have a Killer Clown with 20 life points left. Your opponent contracts Fireball, targeting Killer Clown. To protect Killer Clown, you contract Reflection to target Fireball. Your opponent responds by contracting the Dampen spell to target your Reflection. Seeing your Killer Clown is back in danger, you sacrifice your Chupacabra to restore 50 life points to it. Pages are now resolved in order from last to first. Chupacabra goes to the afterlife and restores Killer Clown's life points. Dampen resolves and dismisses Reflection. Reflection is sent to the cemetery. Fireball resolves now and deals 25 life points damage to Killer Clown. Killer Clown is still alive. Combat begins whenever an attack is declared and proceeds as follows. The beastie's caster may start by fatiguing the beastie and declaring which attack they'll use, after which a target is selected. The target may be any opposing caster, beastie, or trap page that's not under another page or artifact. Note that face-up pages that do not have a life point value cannot be targeted by an attack. Immediately after an attack is declared, the targeted caster or page's caster may respond. They may contract a page or use anytime effects unless the target is a page with a face-down trap page under it or is a trap page not under any other page. The trap's caster may choose to contract it or not. If the trap page is contracted, it will enter the resolution chain, pass priority, and resolve as a normal page after no action is taken in response. If the trap page is a beastie or artifact page, that page will enter the arena as a defender in that combat after resolving. This does not prevent that caster from declaring further defenders. If the caster chooses not to contract the trap, flipped by an attack, place that trap page in the afterlife and that caster may use an anytime effect. Traps can also flip at any point during combat due to their own page effects. The target caster can declare any number of defenders by fatiguing those pages. The original target of the attack may not be declared as a defender this way. Then, select only one attack on one of the defenders to use, if any are available, and that defender becomes the primary defender of the original attack. Only beasties that are not already fatigued may be declared as defenders. Artifacts and casters may not be declared as defenders. If a beastie is the target, it becomes the primary defender. If the opposing caster does not declare any other defenders, the original target of the attack automatically becomes the primary defender, and an attack on a page must be declared for use. This does not cause the primary defender to fatigue. The primary defender is the only defender in combat that can use an attack against a beastie that declared an attack. Immediately after any defenders have been declared, the caster who has declared an attack has priority to contract or use an anytime effect. Check for which beastie attacks first. If neither the attacker nor the primary defender have the first strike trait, the attacker resolves first. If the attacker has the first strike trait and the primary defender does not, the attacker resolves first. If the attacker does not have the first strike trait, but the primary defender does, the defender resolves first. If both the attacker and the primary defender have the first strike trait, the attacker flips a coin. If heads, the attacker resolves first. If tails, the defender does instead. The beastie that attacks first resolves their chosen attack. The beastie that attacks second resolves their chosen attack. Now let's see how we resolve the chosen attacks in order. Activate any effects of the attack, including any status effect icons next to the attack. Then apply any type advantage and aura attack advantage damage modifiers. Next, apply Terra bonus damage modifiers, followed by modifiers from other page effects. Allocate the total damage to the defenders. If there are multiple defenders in the combat, the attacker may allocate damage in multiples of 5 between the defenders as they wish. Apply the allocated damage to the defenders. If any defender's life points are reduced to 0, they are destroyed. After all that, the combat ends, and the caster whose turn it is may continue to take actions. Status effects are conditions that may be inflicted upon beasties, artifacts, or casters, and are marked with an indicator. A target may only have one indicator of each type on it, except for poison, so a page or caster with burn cannot suffer burn again until the first indicator has been removed. If an indicator is removed from a target, the status effect ends. All status effect indicators are removed from a page when it leaves the arena. If an attack lists a status effect symbol next to its damage value, an opposing page in combat may be inflicted with the status effect. In cases of multiple defenders, status effects may only affect the primary defender. When a page automatically inflicts a status effect, no coin flip is performed. Instead, place that status effect indicator on the target. Now, let's do a rundown of those status effects. Frozen. When a page is inflicted with frozen, place a frozen indicator on it, fatigue it, and place counters on that indicator equal to the inflicting page's effect number. At the start of every turn, remove a counter from the frozen indicator. When you remove the final counter this way, remove the frozen indicator and awaken the page. When a frozen page takes any damage outside of the combat in which it was inflicted with frozen, remove the frozen indicator from this page. A frozen page cannot awaken under any other circumstance, such as the start of the turn, page effect, or any other action. Burn. When inflicted with burn, place the burn indicator on it if it is a page, or if it is a caster, put it in front of them. Roll a die and place that many counters on the burn indicator. At the start of every turn, remove a counter from the indicator. When there are no counters left on the burn indicator, remove it from the page or caster. A caster loses 20 life points every time they declare an attack with a beastie they control. A page loses 20 life points each time an attack is declared with them. Poison. A page or caster may have up to 3 poison indicators on them. When a page is inflicted with poison, place the indicator on the page. When a caster is inflicted with poison, place the indicator in front of them. Poison pages and casters lose life points equal to 10 times the number of poison indicators on it at the end of every turn. The poison indicator is removed at the start of the 3rd turn from which it was placed. Paralyze. When a page is inflicted with Paralyze, flip a coin. If heads, place the indicator on it. Paralyzed pages are considered to have no effect text. All of their attacks damages become 0 after applying other modifiers and lose all effects, and they cannot declare attacks or be declared as a defender. Remove the Paralyze indicator from the page at the end of the next turn from when the indicator was placed. Sleep. When a page is inflicted with sleep, flip a coin. If heads, place a sleep indicator on it and fatigue it. A sleeping page cannot awaken under any circumstances, such as the start of the turn, a page effect, or any other action. Whenever a sleeping page becomes the target of an attack, remove the sleep indicator from it. When a sleeping page takes any damage outside of the combat in which it was afflicted with sleep, double the damage, remove the indicator from the page, and awaken it. Scared. When a page is inflicted with Scared, place the indicator on it. Anytime the page would be fatigued, flip a coin. If tails, return the page to its owner's chapter. If heads, remove the Scared indicator from it. Confusion. When a page is inflicted with Confusion, place the Confusion indicator on it. Before a page with Confusion resolves an attack, flip a coin. If tails, deal damage to that page equal to the maximum damage that attack deals, including all modifiers except type advantage and aura attack advantage. Then, do not resolve the attack, remove the Confusion indicator, and continue combat. If heads, the attack occurs as normal. Let's take a look now at traits, which grant beasties or artifacts special abilities. Pages may have markers to show that they have or are affected by a specific trait. Bloodsucker. When a beastie with Bloodsucker deals damage with an attack, it recovers life points equal to the total damage it dealt. Burrow. At the start of each turn, you may declare that a beastie with Burrow is burrowed until end of turn. A burrowed beastie cannot affect, defend, or use powers. Spells, artifacts, or powers cannot target a burrowed beastie, but traits, potions, and page effects can. Burrowed beasties may only be attacked if the attacking beastie also has Burrow, or a page effect says otherwise. Convert. You may fatigue a beastie or artifact with Convert on your turn to generate one aura of the same type as the page. Defender. Beasties or artifacts with this trait temporarily doubles its maximum life points during the opponent's turn after all other modifiers. Afterwards, that beastie or artifact loses all life points gained by this trait. Destroyer. If a beastie with this trait deals damage using an attack to a beastie or artifact, the damaged is destroyed. Equipment. If a beastie, artifact, or spell has this trait, you must equip it to a chosen page unless it is a page with no written effects that equip upon contracting. Fear. When a beastie with Fear is contracted, you may target an opposing beastie and flip a coin. If heads, it is placed back into its owner's chapter. First Strike. Beasties or spells with this trait deal damage first, whether attacking or defending. If both the attacker and defender have this trait, the attacker flips a coin to determine who deals damage first. Flash. When a beastie or artifact with this trait is contracted, you may target an opposing beastie and flip a coin. If heads, the controlling caster cannot declare an attack with that beastie until the end of their next turn. Fleet. A beastie or artifact with Fleet does not enter the arena fatigued and can attack on the same turn it is contracted. Flight. Beasties or artifacts with Flight can only be attacked by other beasties with Flight. Immortal. The beastie or artifact with Immortal is not destroyed when its life points is reduced to 0, but can be destroyed by other page effects. Infectious. When a beastie with this trait destroys another beastie with any page effect, attack, power, or trait, place a nameless beastie token into the arena with maximum life points equal to this beastie's maximum life points and attacks with damage and aura attack advantage equal to the printed damage of attacks on this beastie. The token is of the same aura type as the beastie with this trait. This trait functions on contract or when entering the arena or while in the arena. Invisible. No defenders may be declared when an invisible beastie or artifact attacks, nor can they be the target of an attack. Magi proof. A beastie or artifact with this trait cannot be targeted by spells. Regen. For each regen trait a beastie has, it recovers 10 life points at the end of each turn. Self-destruct. You may fatigue a beastie or artifact with this trait on your turn to destroy it. Spirit. Spirit beasties or artifacts cannot be attacked. Stone Skin. Beasties with this trait reduce all damage it would take outside of attacking or defending to 0. This includes damage dealt from effects during combat. It does not prevent effects that would cause a beastie to lose life points, however. Trap. A page with this trait may be placed face down from your chapter to the arena or face down under a beastie or artifact without paying its aura cost. This trait functions only while in the arena, while face down in the arena or when a page with this trait is flipped. Unblockable. No defenders may be declared when this beastie or artifact attacks. Venomous. If a beastie with this trait is the primary defender, the attacking beastie is inflicted with Poison 1. All pages can be placed face down as a trap, but if a face down page is revealed during the game and it does not have the trap trait, the caster who placed that page face down immediately loses the game. If you cannot lose the game by way of some page's effect, pages without the trap trait that are flipped face up cannot be contracted and are immediately placed into their respective limbo, cemetery, or afterlife. If 2 or more trap pages would flip face up at the same time, the active caster decides the order in which their effects and abilities are resolved. Traps can be placed without paying in the aura cost, which is paid when they are flipped face up and contracted. They can be placed either face down into the arena or face down under a beastie or artifact in the arena that you control, but only one face down trap page may be under a page at any time. In the event that the page the face down trap page is under would be removed from the arena, the trap page remains face down. Inability or choosing not to contract a trap results in the trap page being placed into its discard pile without activating its effects. Declaring a beastie with a trap under it as a defender does not flip the trap. However, face down trap pages are flipped face up when the page it is under is targeted for an attack. A face down trap page is flipped face up when it is targeted by an attack while not under a page in the arena. As such, trap pages under another page may not be targeted for attacks. A trap page automatically becomes a defender when attacked, being flipped face up and contracted into the arena. Unless otherwise stated, you cannot simply choose to flip a trap page and declare it as a defender, although some trap pages specify you can flip it face up at any other time. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around to learn how to play Metazoo, and hopefully this has helped you get the basics of becoming a Metazoo caster. Like and subscribe and all that, and I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Bye!